I mean, it's it's tough going out there in Calgary right now. And Meyer's playing good.
Yeah,
Like
you throw almost like 320 yards. Yeah, well, the other guy's almost getting 400. That's just bad luck.
yeah, Trevor Harris with his Eli Manning style jersey will play lights out today. Welcome back to 11th Island, everybody. CFL Week 5, Labor Day weekend has wrapped up. It was a fun-filled weekend, one of the marquee weekends on the CFL calendar for all fans involved. But Chris, where are we starting?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking about going back to work tomorrow, but that's okay because right now we got some CFL talk. Montreal Outlets versus the Red Blacks. I mean, in case you missed that game, maybe there's some intrigue here. Who won? 51-29 Alouettes. Brad, what are you thinking?
I mean, there's been a lot of unders this year, and the offenses finally kind of broke out in this game. It was a much-needed kind of boost for the Montreal offense, especially for Vernon Adams. He was kind of struggling out of the gate. You could tell he was getting in his own head, and you put in 51 points on the board. You're having a pretty good game here. And the Red Blacks, I mean, they got blown out. Let's be honest. But putting 29 points up in a season where your offense was really struggling is good to see. But that's coming with Dominic Davis under center, where if they pulled Matt Nichols. So the question is, are we seeing a quarterback change here, and are we going to go with Davis down the line here? What are you thinking, Chris?
Well, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. 291 yards for Davis, 23 out of 33. So that's not too bad for dropping into a game, you know. And I think it was a different vibe, and I mean a lot of this was coming from behind. So, I mean, how much are we going to, like the Alouettes, were they really going all that hard to push against him with Vernon Adams? Oh, there goes Eric Anders, friend of the program, his card. But still, I mean, it's exciting. And for the Red Blacks, you got to think, you know, at this point, we have to start thinking about the future and thinking about, okay, what can we get out of this season that might not be a playoff run? Because, I mean, at 5 weeks in, that's not the look that we're getting from the Red Blacks. So to be able to say, okay, we have Matt Nichols, one of the greats in the league, super respected by everybody, but he doesn't have all that much time left. Let's transition, you know, make this a transition year and really get Davis some work.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too it was a lot of garbage time. The stats that are getting put up. So I don't think there's a lot of stock to be put in it. And with Davis, I get that if anybody's going to be the quarterback of the future for the Red Blacks, it's going to be Davis, not Nichols. Age is on his side. With the Red Black, we've seen this in 2019 with Davis, and it didn't work out. So I think this is a situation. The Red Blacks coming into this year with the roster moves they made, they were just throwing the towel in right away. It's going to be a dud year. There's not much to gain from this year. Even in the quarterback position, Matt Nichols, again, he's probably not even healthy yet. Matt Nichols is still a really good quarterback in this league, but he needs pieces around him. He's not at a point in his career, especially with the shoulder injury, that he's going to make things happen. He's going to be more of a Kalaros in Winnipeg, where you got put good things around him. He's going to keep you in the game, potentially give you the shot to win the game, but not going to take it over. So I think you got to roll with Davis here. He's more mobile QB, and he's going to be running for his life back there, and he's just got more mobility to run for his life.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more health when he takes those big hits. And another thing about that game for the Alouettes, don't lose this in the shuffle with Vernon Adams. I mean, all the eyes are on him, but Will Stanback, with over 100 rushing yards, looked very good out there. Really gives a lot of options for Vernon on offense.
Yeah, the Montreal's offense really broke out here. The passing game, the running game, it all kind of came together. And people are going to say, well, it was against the Red Blacks. Red Blacks defense has played really good this year.
They've played good. Yeah, that's not one of the issues with the Red Blacks. I think all of these points that the Alouettes put up were 100% earned, fought for, and done with style. I mean, seeing Geno Lewis's highlight reel after the game, I mean, that's something. I think that's popping into our thumbnail.
Yes. Well, hopefully it's what made you click on this video.
Yeah.
But yeah, good win by Montreal. I mean, at this point of the season, we know what Ottawa is. They're a automatic win and a confidence booster. And Montreal went in there and got that job done.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. The Prairies were bombed. Brad thought that was a little bit much, but I thought it was pretty, playing into the rivalry there. But the Blue Bombers coming out big in the battle for the Prairie, winning 23-8 over the Rough Riders.
I mean, coming into this game, coming in this game, the Rough Riders had overtaken and were the Grey Cup favorites. And Fajardo having a hell of a year, and Winnipeg's defense just put a halt to that. I mean, Saskatchewan could not get anything going, and it was just the first time all year that they've really looked like that. It was Winnipeg's defense is the best defense in all of the CFL, bar none. They are, I mean, they're the defending champs for a reason. They're playing at a championship level right now. The offense, Kolaros is, I mean, I called him kind of a game manager last week, and he was looking like a stud out there this week, kind of proving me wrong. It's a situation where both sides of the ball are really clicking for Winnipeg right now. They're first in the West. I mean, they're looking to go back to back, and they keep playing like this, they might just do it.
Well, yeah, and I think the issue in the loss to the Argos was that the defense was doing fantastic, but Kolaros was just giving away the ball too much, and it was just time. It's a numbers game, right? You leave any defense out for a good enough percentage of the game, and they're not going to be able to get the job done. But I think Kolaros was able to keep the ball. They were hitting more of their second down conversions. And I thought, I mean, to bring up the defense, we got Brandon Alexander, 2 interceptions. We got just a few sacks across the board. I mean,
Nichols got an interception too, and I can't remember which defensive guy, but they did not bleep it when they said he should be the mother effing rookie of the year directly into TSN's camera.
Well, there were guys swearing into TSN's cameras all game. I mean, anytime there was a bad call, I swear somebody was staring into the camera and just saying all sorts of things. I mean, I'm trying to watch with my kids. It's a Labor Day. The family's over. I don't have any kids, but you get the point,
enough,
right?
They're going to be on like a 10-second delay.
Yeah, So we're going pay-per-view rules for Labor Day weekend.
But I mean
it's okay. It can be, the language can be not safe for work because none of us are at work.
But that game really shook up the CFL because people were. I mean, Saskatchewan's been looking kind of unbeatable. I mean, Willie Jefferson coming out, throwing some Baltimore material up there, and then following up on it too. Friend of the program too, Willie. Yes. I mean, that is just stud move. I mean, people are saying Willie doesn't say that too, being the veteran that he is. If he doesn't think that they can go in and do exactly what they did and prove what he said was right, and that they hadn't been tested like Winnipeg, and go out in there and put a stamp on them.
Yeah, I mean, Willie Jefferson, when I saw that quote going into this weekend, it was the mood changed. The whole temperature changed in the Western Division. I think that the Bombers have really been humbled. They got humbled in Toronto, and they've just bounced back, and they're going to be if we said they were a problem starting off the season, they're a big problem now because they've sniffed. They've sniffed defeat, and they've eaten a lot of wins.
Yep. And I mean, and before we move on here too, just this Saskatchewan, getting your first loss out of the way too. If you want to take a positive out of that, you kind of get that out of the way. Get kind of that you're not undefeated. There's not that little whatever you call it, like, oh, we got to stay undefeated. You can start seeing the mistakes that you need to focus on and move forward and get better after it. If you're looking for positives, that's where you get them.
And I mean, up against a defense like the Bombers, the holes are going to reveal themselves, and it's better to reveal them week 5 than first round of the playoffs, or into the semifinals if they were to get a bye, or into the Grey Cup, because that's really when the real teams show up, and that's when the holes get revealed. Best to do some early fall cleaning now and get things straightened up for next week.
Yeah, 2019 West Final was Winnipeg, Saskatchewan. Probably going to be the same for 2021.
Yes. And now we're going to have a moment of silence for this game. This one rocked us this afternoon. Or, well, I mean, this video is going up tomorrow. But
Yes,
we're
this will
recording
be
this
up on
Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. I'm in a time loop right now. But anyways, we watched this yesterday afternoon. It was very sad, and the Cats take the battle of the QEW.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto did not look good this game whatsoever. And, I mean, we'll go to Hamilton first. I said last week that Hamilton needed to make their decision about the QB. And coming into this game, Masoli was he was injured. He wasn't even dressed. So kind of the decision was made for them. Dane Evans looked really good. I think when Masoli's back, you got to keep rolling with Dane Evans here. I think he's made up your mind. Masoli's 0-2. Dane Evans is 2-0. Dane Evans looked really good today. It's just that's the way it goes. I mean, you're gonna have to ride with the hot hand, and then from this point on, this has got to be Dane Evans' team. He took him to the Grey Cup last year or in 2019. You got to let him try and do it again this year. And I mean, we'll see if he can keep up this hot streak going. Hopefully not this Friday, but I thought Hamilton looked good here. They're starting to really, after first couple of games, were pretty rough for them. They're starting to really put it together. Defense playing really good. That's one of the big strengths of this team. When you guys got guys like Simone Lawrence and Jaguar Davis and Dylan Went, like that has to be one of the strengths, and it really showed out today.
Yeah, I think Evans will be the guy going forward. I mean, you could see it in Mazzoli's face where he's a team guy, happy for the team, but I think there was a little bit something bittersweet about watching his counter for the job of quarterback go out on such a big Labor Day weekend with the fans haven't had a home game in a long time, and I think that the Ticats now that they're going to get some more home games going forward. I mean, looking at their home record from 2019, and then looking at their just the trend now with Evans kind of falling into a more steady shot. It's going to be very dangerous for the East.
Yeah, I mean, because you got 10 games left. 6 of them are going to be at home for Hamilton.
Yeah.
2 of them are in Toronto, which I know that's not a home atmosphere, but the travel is so light.
Oh yeah, we'll be at the game this Friday, and it'll be interesting to see, Brad, what the ratio is, because I mean it looked. I think I could point out about 3 Argos fans that we saw on TV yesterday, and I already know. I mean, there was the Hamilton Tiger Cats fans always travel well.
Yeah, and if you were from out west and you're not familiar with the distance between Hamilton and Toronto, I'm a Toronto Argonauts season ticket member. I have to drive double the distance to go to the game than Hamilton will have to.
Well, and I mean, there was a shot too during the game where they looked out over the water from Hamilton, and you could see the CN Tower, which is right by the stadium. You can see the stadium practically from Tim Hortons Field. So it's not when they say the battle of the QEW. It's a very short stretch of the QEW. And I mean, I'm halfway between, like where I live, I'm about halfway between, going back, either way, right? So I could have gone both ways, but Argos, and at work when I was working this weekend, the Ticats fans were out in droves. They were going crazy in Burlington, where I work, and I was like, ooh, I mean, Friday they're gonna be making their way over to BMO Field.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be really interesting to see. But I mean, Toronto better show out, and I mean the situation. Bethel Thompson coming in at the end, looking all right, kind of reminiscent of a few weeks ago when Bethel Thompson started. Arbuckle came in at the end.
Yes,
Friday, there's a little bit of a question here, and if it was up to me, I think Arbuckle goes into the game again. I think this is Arbuckle's team. You stick with him. But no matter who they go with, stick with them. Don't flip-flop. I don't even like putting Bethel Thompson in at the end of that game.
I didn't like that either.
Because you've already flip-flopped this year. You got to stick with one guy. You got to commit to one guy. Keep that guy's confidence at a certain level. Because when you go back and forth, you're teasing the backup, and you're just draining confidence of the starter. And pick one guy, leave him.
And I think the interesting thing for me is there's some sort of deja vu coming into this game in week 6, because the Argos lost to the Bombers in Winnipeg, and then the Bombers go to Toronto and then lose. So I'm thinking in my head, in my little head, you know, that's what's giving me confidence for the Argos. I think there was a lot of parallels that I think that need to be explored.
Yeah, and this is really early in the season, but you lose at home to Hamilton, a team that you're going to be fighting for the #1 spot. The division starts slipping away from you really early on.
The Alouettes looking like they're looking right now too, coming out of this week. This is going to be an all-out war for the East.
And I was going to say CFL schedule. I love these back-to-back games. Just the storylines that you can make from them, they're so sweet.
Yes. I mean, 5 games though. 5 games. 5 days turnover. Where is that in football? Where do you see that in football?
Well,
nowhere.
It shouldn't be happening.
It shouldn't be happening. Well, I mean, the thing is, it's a 40-minute commute. You know, it's not.
The commute has nothing to do with it. I mean, you play a full football game.
Yeah,
you go,
but I mean, would you rather have an extra day and have to fly out to BC?
I mean, add that to the list of questions for the next interview.
Yeah, well, you know that is, you know. hey, in this, we like to end our interviews with some fun questions. Hey, so let's say hypothetically, right? So it's Labor Day, and then you have 5 days. Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Next game.
Moving on. Harris takes Alberta. Edmonton Elks going into. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what COVID struggles? We're going. Like it didn't look like they were too hampered today. I mean, Edmonton was struggling before this too. I mean, you're the one last week said that they're on a roll after winning 1 game. Apparently, they are on a roll. So you were right.
What did I tell you?
Yeah, they look very good. Calgary too, 1-4, tough spot. Myers playing very good football. I mean, it doesn't help when your wide receivers drop 10 balls at least. That one guy that ambles, I think he dropped 6 balls at least by himself today. A tough day for that kid. I mean, it's tough going out there in Calgary right now. And Myers playing good.
Yeah, like, I mean, you throw almost like 320 yards. Yeah, well, the other guy's almost getting 400. That's just bad luck.
Yeah, Trevor Harris with his Eli Manning style jersey is what played lights out today, or yesterday for when you guys see this. But yeah, Edmonton's looking good, and in West Division as stacked as it is, they needed to get going.
Yeah,
and it's I guess COVID's not an issue.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe this COVID thing was all hype after all. You know, maybe we should just open up now. The Elks are the testament.
You know, from saying this too, we're gonna get the little COVID tag at the bottom.
Yeah, we're gonna
don't listen to these idiots.
Yeah, well, I mean, it'll be interesting because we're not gonna put. We used to back in the day, we would put like in the tags #COVID news, just to try and get the algorithm because everyone was searching it and it didn't work, and then all it would get us is this. I wonder if they're listening though.
YouTube probably is, or Spotify, or wherever you listen to this, they probably are. So
yeah, because we've ever since the start, when we first started, when we talked about the XFL shutting down back in the day, we've been flagged as a menace to society for our COVID takes.
Well, it's not our fault that we recorded a video 20 minutes before the NBA shut down and said, "There's no way."
Yes, and if you go back, all right, I want to apologize for a statement I made. I said COVID's the flu. That was a different time, okay?
Yeah, well, Eric Anders has said worse in our interview, so I think you're good.
But
yeah, Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton played very good. It was, I mean, I don't want to be able to say it's good to see because I care less about the Edmonton Elks, but I mean they're playing good, so that's good for you Edmonton fans out there.
Yes.
And Calgary, I mean, you get behind the 8 ball really early. Bo Levi apparently is coming back soon from a broken leg. I don't know how you heal from a broken leg that quick, but I don't think that's going to kickstart your team because Jake Myers is playing pretty good and you're still losing.
Yeah, I think that's the piece of intrigue is Bo Levi. What do you do with him right now?
you don't rush him back. I don't think you gotta look to the future. Like, there's no point saying go play lights out, lose the game, and break your leg again. What's the point in that?
Are one of them on the trade block soon?
I mean, but who's going to trade for him?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a question right now.
Yeah.
Ask you a question right now. We're Toronto Argos fans.
Yeah.
If you had the choice to do a 1-for-1 swap, would you trade Arbuckle for Jake Meyer?
Yes. What? What do you want me to say?
I was hoping you'd say no.
Why do you want me to say no?
I don't know. But I was hoping it's a Stan fan take, but I think that
I mean look at the numbers, Brad.
Okay, but also in all fairness, I mean look at the numbers from the Winnipeg Blue Bombers game. Arbuckle played pretty good. I think the situation is Arbuckle. Yeah. I don't know what I was going for there. It just popped in my head.
Okay. Bo Levi for Arbuckle. But you can't see him play until he's back. Like he can't. You're getting him now while he's still injured.
What kind of question is this?
Dude, that's what this feels like. What kind of question?
But of course I'm thinking Bo Levi Mitchell.
Yeah. So
my question was at least rational.
No. I said, does one of these guys end up on the block? And you said, who's going to trade for him?
Okay, but who would trade for Jake Meyer right now? I don't think the Argos do. I don't think the Argos do because you got Arbuckle and Thompson, and Bethel Thompson, and I think your situation is not really a quarterback issue. It's when things go wrong, it's the rest of the team, like the O-line and stuff. So which team would trade for him?
I was honestly thinking the Argos.
Would the Red Blacks?
The Red Blacks, maybe. I mean, I think that's too immediate of a move for the future. I don't know if the Red Blacks would.
Maybe you can get him for the right price. But the situation is, too, if you're Calgary and you somehow start winning a few games, get back in the playoff race, and with Bo Levi's injury history, do you even want to trade him?
That's true. That's true. I mean that's I'm thinking best case scenario for Stampeders, where now Bo Levi comes back, and it's almost like, as CFL fans, it's a shame to keep one of these guys on the bench.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, it feels like the CFL more than the NFL or college football. The quarterbacks get injured way too much. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, it might be an O-line thing. It might. I mean, every league that's come back, taken some time off, come back from COVID. And I mean, CFL's going through it now for the first time. They were a little bit because they had to miss a whole season. The injuries to key players, like key positions, they get a very unique type of work, whether that be pitchers, quarterbacks, yada yada yada. They've all had very strange and frequent injuries.
Yes,
but I think always. I mean, the CFL is a rough and tumble league, and
I mean,
there's
with the
a
quarterback
lot of
just dropping back as much as they do in this league, you're bound to get hurt.
Yeah, so it's, it's not bad to have both, but the question is, are they going to be doing that? Because everybody's been swapping out guys left and right. So do you do we're just gonna ride the hot hand on a quarter-to-quarter basis?
No. Bo Levi Mitchell is at 50% healthy. He's better than pretty much every other QB in this league, other than maybe Mike Riley and Vernon Adams when he's actually playing good.
Mm-hmm. When he's actually playing good, if you could say anything and you can make any claim about Levi Mitchell and have a caveat when he's playing good. Is he going to play good?
No, I'm saying Bo Levi when he's healthy, at 50%.
Yeah. So you said all that stuff, and then you add the caveat.
Vernon Adams.
Well, you're caveating, man.
All right, give your take on the commentators. I won't steal it from you, and let me get to the picks.
What, the commentators?
Yeah, what they were saying about the penalties. I'm not gonna steal it from.
Oh, yeah, they were saying something about there's all these penalties, and CFL fans need to remember that are all complaining that it's the player's fault and the coach's fault for breaking the rules. It's like, look, cheating is a part of sports, okay? Let them play. Let them play.
Yeah. Don't sound like a big time nerd and just be like, yeah, cheating everybody.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's cheating. Okay, getting a penalty it's not cheating. Like getting a penalty, you didn't cheat.
It's not.
It's just like when you like face mask a guy or something. Like what that play with the Blue Bombers, where the kicker and then they called it a glancing to the helmet. I mean, that could have been a penalty, could have not. I can't even remember what they said there, but the reality is the guy didn't mean to do that. He's running at the kicker. You're jumping. Stuff your arms are flailing around. Stuff happens.
He's a cheater. He's a cheater.
Are you a cheater? It's just some yes. I was disappointed. But I mean, it was an up and down Labor Day for TSN, and if you watch the half game show, you guys know what I'm talking about.
The halftime show, it's a tough show for us too, I guess.
Yeah,
if you want to improve,
this is a tough show. This is a tough show.
If you want to improve TSN, yeah, but maybe not. Might not be an improvement. That's what we've been doing.
Hey, I mean, let's get into week 6. Oh wait, that didn't. See, TSN,
Tough. All right,
come on.
Then
TSN. There we go.
Betting site that will not be named. No free shout out.
Yes.
Have they got the odds?
I'm refreshing. And if you can,
because we give them a free shout out all we want if they don't have these odds up, because it's a bad look.
Yeah, Bet Regal doesn't even have CFL odds up.
I mean, okay, so give me the games next week and I'll make the picks.
Okay. First of all, do we want to look at the stand? Do we really want do? Okay, we'll go. Okay.
How long
week
into
6.
How long into it are we?
We are 27 minutes. But it took us a while to start. Okay, so we got Hamilton going back to Toronto.
Okay, I mean, the fact that me and you're going to be sitting in the 30-yard line, 8 rows up in Toronto, wearing Argonauts apparel, I got to take the Argos here. I'm sorry. I just can't not.
Yeah, we're going to have we're going to be behind the Ticats bench, and they're going to be eggs in the Ticats brains that we're going to lay. The seeds of deception. Except for Jared.
We love you, Jared.
Yes, we love you a lot. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing if I wave, if he can recognize us. That would be kind of
Yes, let's go for.
I'm gonna take my Argos hat and just do what I did with Willie Jefferson. Just turn it around and just say, "Hey." Anyways, Saskatchewan headed to Winnipeg.
This is tough. I mean, Winnipeg. I think they beat them in Saskatchewan. They'll probably beat them at home. I think this will be a really good game. This will probably be one of the best games of the weekend here, because Saskatchewan's gonna rebound. They're not gonna put up 8 points again. But Winnipeg, I mean, they're gonna show up again. I think Winnipeg wins here. I think Winnipeg wins.
And then Calgary heading to Edmonton.
What, does BC get 2 byes in a row?
Just wait. They're coming.
Well, who the hell is BC going to play? There's only.
Just let it happen.
Okay. Okay. Calgary's going to Edmonton. There's so many damn rematches. You got my mind in a pretzel. I thought you were reading out this week for a second.
No.
Calgary will bounce back and get a win.
All right, so then
Bo Levi will play next. Bo Levi's going to play next week.
So then you have the Red Blacks taking on the Alouettes. Red Blacks taking on the Lions.
I mean, yeah, BC, here's a confidence booster for you. Go in and take it. BC.
I mean, depending on how crazy their Labor Day got, though, they might still be hungover.
I mean, they could keep going until game time. They're still beating the Red Blacks.
Maybe the Red Blacks will join them up until then.
Yeah, I mean, you might as well.
You might as well. Let's take a look at the standings quick.
All right,
let's take a look. Let's take a look at the standings. All right, so we got
you got them in front of you.
Yeah. So in the West, Winnipeg Blue Bombers have 4 wins and 1 loss to the Argos. Saskatchewan's 3-1. Edmonton's 2-2. BC 2-2. Calgary 1-4. Then you got in the East, 3-way tie, all sitting at 500 on the season. Hamilton, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa 1-3. And that's your standings update.
Yes. I think next week we should start with power rankings too.
Yeah, I think power rankings, I've said a lot on this show that it's too early, because it has been too early, but I think now things are starting to solidify themselves.
It's an acceptable time for Chris to give his power rankings.
And I will speak. Next week I speak. I end the silence. Okay? I end the silence. We're going to figure out what quarterbacks are the best, in my mind. We're going to figure out who's the strongest, who's going to win the Grey Cup.
All right. Okay. All right. And you got anything else to say in the week, Chris?
No, just tell the people tell them the administrative things. All
right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Make sure to check out next week. We're coming week after week with this stuff here, whether you like it or not. We're coming week after week. Check out tomorrow too. We're coming out with our NFL preview for the season. Give our division winners, the award winners, who we think's going to win the Super Bowl. If you're a fan of the CFL, you're an NFL fan too, so make sure you check that out. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. 350 subscriber giveaway coming up. Check out the sports card playlist. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Happy Labor Day, comrades.